Hello everyone and thank you for joining me. The fountain pen that I will be using today, I had it in my collection for a few years now, but never got the chance to use it. So today seems to be the day that it will, well, come out and play. I did want to use it when I first got it, but unfortunately this copy that I got had some issues with the plunger or the filling mechanism. Somehow he was not able to suck any ink inside of the barrel, and as such I wasn't able to use it. And since unfortunately when I got to test it was a little bit too late for returning it, I was stuck with it for a while until I was able to get a replacement for it. After some investigation I realized that the threads on the plunger unit were not the best and was allowing for air to get into the barrel. As mentioned, I ended up changing it, order a new part, but by the time I got it and by the time I replaced it, I was kind of over the fountain pen and did not had any heart into trying it out. So I put it in a drawer and to be honest forgot about it up until recently. So here it is in all its glory and let's hope this time it will work out better. The 601A version is considered to be the more fancier version. It comes with a gold-like looking cap with a chase pattern on it, in my case waves, and two blue fake jewels, one on the cap and one on the blind cap from the barrel. Other than these two things, the fountain pen is pretty much the same design as the regular, more plain version. And if you want to save 3-4 bucks, you are probably better off with the more plain version anyway. My fountain pen had another issue. The clip was bent and I had to bend it back into place. Not a big deal, but still something to consider. Cool things about it that I like, it comes with a Triumph nib that was copied from the vintage Shepherd Triumph, and the filling mechanism is basically, from my perspective, a button filler-like mechanism. I believe it's called vacuumatic filler mechanism, but personally I like to call them button fillers because, well, you press on a button to fill it up. Also, the barrel and the filling mechanisms can be removed from the pen for a much easier and faster cleaning experience. To remove the filling system though, you will need a specific tool for it which is sold separately from the fountain pen manufacturer. Overall, a pretty interesting fountain pen that comes in a few versions depending on the model. You can find them with hooded nibs, regular number 5 nibs, or this Triumph nib that I am showing up. For today I will be using one of the Banmi inks that I have and that I've gotten from AliExpress, the waterproof blue. I'm curious to see how it will show up on the cotton paper that I've been using lately. Filling up the fountain pen is pretty straightforward. Remove the blind cap, put the pen in the ink bottle, and then press that button until you cannot hear any bubbles coming out of it. At least that's my approach. Then remove, clean, and off you go. It did worry me a little bit though because it had some issues starting up and I thought I'm gonna have some issues with it, but after a few taps it started working without problems. Well, relatively. Not sure what that was all about, but since I had no other issues at that time, I didn't look further into it. As for the writing experience, it's actually a very pleasant nib. Triumph nibs are one of my favorite nibs, and I am always happy when I find one that works as good as this one. Pretty juicy writer and even works on the reverse. A little bit more thin and drier on reverse, but still pretty usable. Also a little bit skippy when you move your hand pretty fast, visible on the portion where I'm trying to see if the nib flexes in any way. Speaking of flex, no flex on the nib. The design of it usually does not allow for that. They tend to be pretty stiff nibs since their shape is, well, a cylinder. With that aside, let's dive into the Scribble and see what we can get with it. Okay, another week, another Scribble. This one turned out interesting as well. Unexpected, just like the are ones that I've been doing lately, and I don't know what to think of it. I like it, I really do, but I have no idea what it is. I was actually confused at the beginning, not at the beginning, or midway. Midway, I didn't know how to continue. Well, the way I started, basically, I had like a circle, and around that circle I started to do like a twist pattern around it, and then obviously that to me now looked like an eye, so I turned it into an eye, and I work on that twisting pattern just to at least fill up the page, and then that twisting pattern kind of turned into a mouth, kind of a like, and I did a few other things, and then I kind of got confused. I didn't know what direction to go, since now this thing was taking a lot of space on the page. I wasn't sure how to finish it, what to put it on, what to stand on. So this drawing actually turned out to be kind of a 2-day drawing. Well, not 2 full days, but I had to stop and let it sit until the next day, because I wasn't sure exactly where to go with it. So I let it sit for a day just to cool off my head, and I was kind of looking at it throughout the day, and eventually something popped into my head. So this thing eventually became to be I guess genie, you could call him, or call it, or call she, genie in a box, not in a lamp. No, this thing popped from out of a box, as you'll eventually see me draw the box somewhere in the corner right side of things. And I also gave a little bit of dimension to that box, like you were watching it from somewhere on the ground. So I made that box look like big, and as such, whatever popped out of it, it was even bigger than you could imagine. Or at least I was trying to go for that idea. It was a fun drawing. I really enjoyed it. And you could almost feel like it goes... it has like different dimensions to it. It has like the furry kind of a look that slowly converts into a wooden-like structure, and then kind of go into a cloudy thing into the box. I don't know. It's interesting. I'm starting to like this idea of draw something crazy. Get stuck with it, leave it, and then come back and continue with the idea and see what else you can come up with. I might start doing this a little bit more often. And it also takes a little bit of load off my shoulders. I don't have to finish the drawing in one night. Sometimes I feel rushed by it, and a lot of times I don't get the best drawings, or at least I don't end up getting the best out of it, because well, I get tired, and it feels like I have to force myself to finish it. So this one for me feels a little bit more complete somehow. Loved it. And yeah, the ink for today was a little bit different than the other inks on this paper. This one is the first ink that I have that turns out to be a little bit more wet, not as dry, but I guess it's also because of the nib. I assume the way it's built, and probably because of the feed, allows for more ink to flow through it. Speaking of flow, actually, I did have a few issues with it. That problem that I was mentioning at the beginning when I was doing the writing sample, with the nib having a hard stop even though I just literally filled it up, that issue came back a couple of times throughout the drawing. Not a lot of times, but enough to make me stop and grab another piece of paper and start tapping on it until ink was start to flowing again. And then it was good again for like another 30-40 minutes or so. I don't know why. I don't think it's the ink. I don't think it's the paper. I guess this fondant for me turned out a little bit more of a lemon. First one in a while, actually. So I guess I can't complain that much. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go through the effort to try and figure out and fix it. I might, but I'm not 100% sure right now. So I guess I'm talking about the fountain pen. It was actually pleasant to use. I like it. The drawing, like I said, it turned out to be like across 2 days, and I used a lot of ink in this drawing, or at least I think I used a lot of drawing. I still have maybe a quarter left based on the ink window that I see. Seems to be a quarter left in the pen, maybe less than a quarter. And I think I'll be using it on something else, and I'll be drawing on something else. No actual issues other than the ink starvation that I had a couple of times with the nib. I might look into it, I don't know. I honestly don't know, at least not at this point in time. Maybe after I finish the ink edit and whatever I remember in a couple of years again, maybe I'll look into it and fix it at that time. Until then though, it's okay as is. Take that, I guess, as you want. This could be a lemon for me. Somebody else that maybe if you have the same model, maybe you didn't have the same problem that I have and you're more lucky. But then again, that's the story with pretty much all the Chinese fountain pens, and not only, most of the Chinese market stuff that are coming from them. Quality, unknown, but you could get lucky. I love the ink on this paper though. It follows the same trend that I've been seeing. Any ink that I put on this paper seems to get darker than it actually is, and I kind of like that, and I'm really excited for the drawing on next week. Next week I'll be bringing up a fountain pen that for a very long time it was a grail fountain pen for me, an actual grail fountain pen. There were actually two of them. Next week I'll be bringing out one of them. And I'm kind of excited because I never actually used it. That's the thing with the grail fountain pens. When you actually finally get them, you're afraid to use them, so you're not being disappointed by them. So hopefully next week I will not get disappointed. But I'm excited about next week. And the ink that I'll be using. It's something that I used in the past, but I'm curious how it's gonna look on this paper. I hope it'll be good. So, pretty interesting drawing for this week. I love this thing. Let me know what you think it is or what you see in it. Whatever it is, I like it. As usual, thanks a lot for joining me. Hopefully you found this one interesting and entertaining and useful. And I guess I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day or night, whatever you are.